Welcome to the Garage Engineer Shop. In this video, we are going to be doing what I call a hybrid woodworking style of installing bow ties into a crack that had formed in our Viking chair that we are building. So to start off with, you can make the bow ties by hand, but I've got a CNC machine and I love the precision of it, except for when I have issues, as you'll see in the clip coming up, that I did not mount the walnut tight enough to the board, and we have a little issue here. So you see right here, the walnut is released from the wasteboard, and I come later and try to move it with scissors, but it's not moving because part of it is attached to the board with double-sided tape. And then later we come to our fourth bow tie, and I didn't use enough double-sided tape at all, and the whole thing just came apart. So I cut those out that didn't fully cut, and now I'm just sanding the edges down here to make them nice and smooth. And I was using 3/4 inch walnut, which was a little too thick for the bow ties I wanted, so I'm just here at the bandsaw and cutting the thickness of the bow ties down. And I always use some type of push stick, no matter what machine you're using. And so here are the Viking chairs I'm making for a friend, and we're in the middle of the process. As you can see in the seat there, it's got a big crack going down the middle of it, and it didn't go all the way through the board, but I wanted to make sure that the crack did not get any bigger since this was going to be outside. So I'm making the bow ties to hold it together. Now I'm using these Nick Pro mechanical pencils that I found. They're really neat. It comes in a red and a black version of lead, and I'm using the red because of the darker wood so I can see it a little better. So now that we got those dovetails situated, I'm just taking it apart so I can work on the seat a little better. The reason why I like to call this a hybrid dovetail joint is that I like to use the hand router to remove a lot of the waste material. And there I was showing the 1/8 inch upcut bit that I had in the router itself. So what I like to do is go around the perimeter of the bow tie just to get a boundary between the inside of the wood and the red line. And we stay off the red line about an 1/8 of an inch to a 1/16 of an inch away, because we'll come in and finish it with a chisel. But the reason I do a perimeter is because I don't want the router to slip and go into the good wood. So while I'm hogging out the interior of the where the bow tie is going to go. And so here I'm measuring the thickness of the bow tie and removing and making it just a little bit smaller because we want the bow tie to sit up above the wood, and we'll sand it down to the final height. And then the first pass was not as deep, but now we're going the full depth of the bow tie here. And again, I'm going around the perimeter, and there's I'm showing the perimeter cut. And then now I'm going to go and hog out the inside portion of the wood, and that gets most of it done. And I know it's not traditional. Usually they use the whole chisel to get all that out, but I like to do it this way because it's quicker. And then I'm just showing here the bottom of it needs to be cleaned up, and then now I'm taking the chisel and cutting right on the red line. Now I'm not against chisels. I love chisels because if you get a nice sharp chisel, and sharpening chisels is, I think, very exciting and fun to me, but I just don't like to spend the whole time chiseling all that waste wood out. So here I'm test fitting the bow tie into the slot. Still a little tight, so we go around and just touch up little areas here and there to make sure it fits. And then now we got the final fit, and it snugly fits down in there. You do want a little bit of space at the bottom and on the side so that the glue can have a little bit of room, but you want it somewhat snug. It doesn't have to be super tight, but somehow it's having problems getting it out. Now here I like to mix a little bit of the sawdust that matches the wood and some of the glue, and we'll use that in just a minute. And then I'm just putting regular glue in here. I probably should have used Type Bond 3. I just used Type Bond 2 since this is going outside. But we're going to put a coating over it, so it should be alright. And now I'm just putting the glue on the bottom and the sides and tapping in the bow ties. And then to fill any gaps, there might be little differences around the edge. This is where you use the colored sawdust glue around the perimeter of the bow tie, or wherever you need it. You don't have to do the whole perimeter, just wherever you see gaps or anything like that. It just makes it a little bit cleaner by the eye, because you're looking from the distance. If you really want to get particular and have it exactly matched, then that's a skill on its own, but I don't get that detailed, because if I'm standing up and I don't see the lines, then I'm pretty happy. So now here's the arduous task of sanding, and we finally sped it up to the final little bit there, and we sand it down to final. And I spray a little bit of water on there just because I like to see what it looks like, the contrast of the walnut onto white oak. And here's the final product. We ended up putting like 3 coats of spar urethane on here, since this is going outside. I wanted to be weather protected, and there was a crack on the back of the seat too, so I didn't show that in the video, but we did show, or I did put in another bow tie there, and there's the final product, the 2 bow ties covered in shellac. I really liked how that turned out. I appreciate you following along, and I hope you're able to learn something or get a few tips from this, or if not, just get enjoyment. And we'll see you in the next video. And if you'd like to see more videos like the one that you just saw, you can check here and here. And remember the ABCs of making. Always be creating. Till next time. Hey!